Good morning, everyone. We're here ready for our weekly football press conference. This week, the Blue Raiders will head to Sam Houston State for an 11 a.m. Kickoff. The game will be on ESPN+. So for those that are on Zoom, please, when you have a question, just raise your hand and we'll get to you. So to get things started, I'd like to bring up the head coach, Rick Stockstill.
Thank you, AC. Appreciate everybody being here this morning and on Zoom. So I just won, and no, we're obviously this is our last game, and playing Sam Houston State, who has struggled at times this year. Their overall record does not indicate how good this team is. And this is not Coach Speak sitting up here, talking about a 2-9 team. But they've lost a lot of games by one scores. They've been in just about every game they've played. They're very competitive. They lost their first 7, I think, maybe 8, and then they won 2 straight, and then they got beat last week in a close game to Western Kentucky. So they've got good players. They're a good team. Their quarterback to me, has gotten better each week. They've got a veteran offensive line. They've got one of the leading receivers in the conference. I think he's got 77 catches. So they've got talent. Their defense, they're going to do a lot of different things. They're going to, move in and out of fronts, to try to confuse you a little bit there. And on the back end, they've got good players. They've got good size. They run well. And then special teams, their punt returner is really dynamic. He's had a touchdown return for a touchdown. They've blocked a kick, so they're really good in the kicking game. And going out there, playing on the road, we need to get a win, on the road this week. And so looking forward to this week's practice. Our guys were really good yesterday in practice, and then again today's their day off, and we'll get back at it tomorrow. But like I told them yesterday, you can't look at a team's record and assume anything. So we're fired up about this opportunity to finish out the season, and proud of our guys and how they've responded here the last 3 weeks of the season. So would not expect anything different this week. So open it up to you guys.
Coach, one similarity y'all share with Sam Houston this season is those one-score losses that y'all have had. When you're evaluating those games as a coach, as a coaching staff, obviously there's a lot of things that could have swung the game individually. So how do you evaluate a performance in a game where a lot of different things could have made the difference? Yeah,
Sam, it's, again, we've played 2 top 10 teams. We had played one of them to a one-score game. And, you can go back and you can look at – 3 or 4 plays in that game. And then the same, with the other ones that we've had, there's always, a missed assignment, a missed this, a turnover, a penalty. It's not a, and we've played a lot better the last, 2 weeks, really, 3 weeks. We just didn't score enough against New Mexico State, and everybody talked about that game. We scored 7. Auburn only scored 10, so that team is a lot better than what people want to give them credit for. So, but you can always go back, and I'm sure Sam Houston can do the same thing, is looking at some of their games that were close, and they are close. We've been close this year. And you pick out if we just had done this or we'd have done a little bit better. There's such a fine line. That's why when coaches say winning is hard, and there's such a fine line between winning and losing. And there's a handful of teams that are better than anybody else in the country. And everybody else, it's about the same. And how you execute, how you play that day determines, the outcome most of the time.
Sam Houston's defense, I think, has been a big part of why they've been so competitive, particularly in conference play. What do they do so well to keep them in games, maybe when the offense is struggling a little?
Yeah, they haven't given up a lot of points, so they do a really good job of keeping the ball in front of them. They turned Western Kentucky over 5 times, so credit to Western Kentucky, because you turn it over 5 times and still win. That's hard to do. So credit to those guys. But they tackle well, and they don't give up big plays. They keep the ball in front of them and not giving up a lot of explosive plays.
Coach, when you draw comparisons, is Shoemaker similar in his style to Diego Pavia, or a little bit like Nick, or can you draw a comparison?
Sometimes I'll leave a game and I'll say they were a lot better in person than they looked on film, or they weren't near as good in person as I thought they were on film. So you don't get to me, I've never been able to get a true indication, but he's a good player. I'm not into, comparing guys, but he's a good player. He's done a really nice job of keeping them in games where they have a chance to win in the second half. I mean, they've lost 2 overtime games. They've lost, a couple 3- and 4-pointers, and like I said, 1-score games. So he's doing a good job. He's a good player. He's got good people around him.
Speaking of leaving a game and being able to take stock of it and look back, what do you think was the key in Saturday's game to maintaining some momentum in that one? It was the fake punt seemed to have come at a really good time.
That was big, and you look at it, they had just returned the punt back, our punt back for a touchdown. So we're on the 33-yard line. We're still kicking into the wind. And we've been working, that. Coach Mike has done a good job with it. Jordan Branch did a great job executing it. But, Jordan Starling, Moose, and Parker Hughes and Brody Butler, those guys got key blocks, also Jalen Davis. But that gave us, that kept that drive going, and we ended up scoring on the drive. So our offense did a great job of every time UTEP scored, we answered. And, so I thought that was key in that, we answered offensively. The frustrating part, we gave up an 80-yard touchdown pass on a screen, a 40-yard, screen play that got them down to the 1 or 2 down there. So, we gave up some plays, but our defense, when it came time, they got the 4th down stop there early in the 4th quarter, and then obviously at the end of the game. But I think the key to the momentum part was we never gave them anything back in the kicking game after that touchdown. Us forcing them to miss that extra point late in the game was key, because now it made it a touchdown game instead of a field goal game on that last drive. And then, defense came up with some key stops. And then, like I said, offensively, we answered the bell every time they scored.
One other quick one. In this era of college football with so much movement, what does it say about Jordan Starling, who sets the record for the most games ever played here?
That one, just the respect I have for him, because when you're an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, you get hit every day in practice. A receiver, a DB, a quarterback, they may go, the whole week and never get hit till the game, But those guys are getting hit every day. And, so he's overcome a surgery early in his career. his attitude that he shows up every day. Spring practice, winter workouts, summer. I mean, and he comes with a smile on his face. On the fake punt, he's supposed to look over at us, and we're supposed to yes or no. He didn't look over there. And he ran it, and Moose, why didn't you? He said, Coach, we've been doing this for a month. I know what the look is. It was a look. So you trust the guy. I trust Moose. He's a really, really good person. He's graduated. He's a good man. Proud of him. And when you set longevity records like that, he was afforded this because I think he played 3 games his freshman year and then still redshirted because of that new rule. Then he got a handful of games because of COVID, so it's going to be hard for somebody ever to catch that. Just really proud of Moose and appreciative of him. I love him. I respect him, and he's had a really, really great career here. That's good. Appreciate it, and hope everybody on there, hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate y'all.
All right, it's now time for our student athletes. We got quarterback Nick Vadiato and safety Trey Flewellen. We'll begin with Nick.
Nick, I was scrolling through the Conference USA stat list this morning and saw that you're now leading the conference in total offense. I think a lot of us, when you're projected as more of a pocket passer coming in, are delighted to see your rushing ability show up. Well, what's it been like this year? We talked with Coach about you just getting more experience and learning, when to pull the ball and scramble. What's that been like for you, adjusting to that part of your game?
Yeah, I think it's something that I've gotten a lot better at since I first got here. And I think just it more starts like in the off season, just kind of in the weight room with Coach Hick and the strength staff, and getting your body right and becoming stronger, and then also becoming faster through speed work and more explosive. But I think I was just being able to learn how to become a better runner, knowing when is the right time to pull the ball down and run and get what you can. And it's really important, I think, when you have the ability to extend plays and to create plays, whether it's off of scramble and, you're still throwing the ball or whether, you're running it, it creates a lot on the defense to have to deal with because, if you're just standing there in the pocket the whole game and you don't really present that aspect to them, they could sit back in coverage all day and not have to worry about that. But once, the more stress you could put on a defense, the better you make it for yourself, the more opportunity you have to create and extend plays. And, I think especially with, the other guys we have in our quarterback room like DJ and like Kyle, learning from them just how to be a good runner, how to be good in space, just understanding blocks, how to set up a block, how to make moves in the open field. I think DJ is one of the most talented guys on our team, and just learning from him, and he's one heck of a runner. Every time he runs the ball, he makes something happen, and the whole sideline gets excited when he's stiff-arming someone. And then I think we all get our toughness from B-Stock because he hates it. But if we ever watch film of him, he's out there running guys over for a first down. So I think more so we know that we have a responsibility to play tough, and when we're running the ball, we're always going to finish low. We're going to finish hard, and I think it's just a representation of how well he coaches us and what it kind of is and what it means for our room and what we want to present and put out on the field. And I think it's important.
Mateo Guevara is somebody that stepped up in the offensive line as a redshirt freshman. Pretty rare for somebody that young to be stepping in at that position. What has he done to get y'all's trust there and do well these past 2 games?
He's worked his tail off ever since he's gotten here, and obviously it's not something where like he started the season right away. He kind of went a couple weeks. He was doing, he would come in for a couple plays, then come out. But I mean, he's just played well. He's done his job. He's played really tough. He's played physical. He's played smart, and he's prepared for it. In practice, in the film room. I know him and Keelan are really good friends, and they're always on each other during practice, making each other better. And sometimes I might get to yelling at each other a little bit, but it's just because they want each other to be the best version of themselves. And I'm honestly so happy and proud of Mateo and the rest of our offensive line. I know we've had like guys come in and come out, and a lot of guys have gotten a lot of snaps, but I think Mateo, just the way he goes about himself, the way he goes about preparing, I'm not surprised about how well he's doing, just because he's a great kid, and he worked his tail off and he made the most of his opportunity, and I know he's going to continue to do so. He's going to be a really good player, and just really happy and proud for him.
Sam Houston clearly has some linebackers that show up on paper. What do you see from the Bearcats on film that have made them successful defensively this year?
Yeah, specifically their linebackers, number one is a great player. I mean, he flies around the ball sideline to sideline, fitting gaps in the run game, getting coverage in the passing game, getting to his zones, or if he ever has to match a back man, or he has so much responsibility on his plate and he handles it so well, and he's a great player. And the rest of their defense, it's like Coach Stock said, it's a reason they've been in a lot of games. They're not an easy unit to play. They play hard, they play physical, and it's been consistent every game. They play everyone like that. They're smart, they're sound. Rarely do they ever have busting coverage. Their D-line does a really good job in the run game and rushing the passers. So, it's a really sound unit. Number one, you could tell on film is the leader of that unit. And so, it presents a good opportunity for us to go out there and play on Saturday, and we know we're going to be playing a good unit when it comes to it.
Teams never stay the same throughout the year. You guys on offense have scored 30-plus, I think, in 5 of the last 6. What can you pinpoint that's made the difference?
I just think we've gotten, as the season's gone on, we've gotten better. And I know our win-loss record isn't the best, and we've had a couple one-score games that haven't gone our way. But, I think when you look at early in the year, the amount of penalties we were having that were setting us back was really hurting us. And I think the last couple weeks, especially the last 2 weeks, we've been a lot better offensively in penalty-wise, whether it was pre- or post-snap penalties, or even just, penalties that happen during the play, like holding and stuff like that. But, no, I just think we've gotten better as a unit. We practice hard. We've continued to gain more trust with each other, to get more chemistry. I think the O-line's been playing really, really well. And, the receivers are making plays. They're getting more comfortable. And, like you said, no team ever stays the same. And I think it's safe to say that we've been improving and that our goal is to continue to improve. And we just have to keep going. We have to play fast. We have to be who we are, never change, and just, each day come ready to work to get better and control what we can control, and we'll be all right.
Anything else for Nick? Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, guys.
You got to watch from a different perspective Saturday. What did you learn?
Well, first off, I learned to be patient. Not everything goes your way all the time. I wanted to play so bad and wanted to be out there, and just watching them play has honestly been a joy, and it's gave me more of a spiritual standpoint as far as seeking into other people, as far as growing relationships into other people, and being more active in the things and how I talk to people and how I lead, and help me grow and help me learn more ways to lead and better ways to lead. As far as last week, Marvay, the whole week, we're working on our forfeits and working on our lean, how we play our lean cover 3. And this week he got a pick playing cover 3. Played it perfect. He called it a Tony toe tap, but I think he just got his body mixed up. So it was just an honor to see everybody playing great and playing together and watching the offense do their thing, and then go back, translate that to defense, and just all-around win.
Yeah, Murray, somebody that you've mentioned, somebody that you've mentored on the field. He's mentioned you mentoring on the field. Have you talked to him about what to expect with the rehabbing the knee in the months to come?
Yeah, Marvin was honestly the first person who came up to me after I tore my ACL. It's sad to say that, that play, the celebration, tearing it on a celebration, I was pretty excited. But he came up to me and he was like, "You got this. Just keep going, be safe, and just understand the opportunity." I have these tattoos on my wrist that say "never change," and which means me never changing on what I want in life, what I want for my family, what I want for my future, whether that God takes me whatever route. Marvin just keeps telling me never change and just do my rehab to the best of my ability. All the guys are being, a blessing to me. Understanding I don't have my family here every day and stuff like that. So I'm beyond thankful for Marvin and everybody who's just been encouraging me and every step of the way being by my side.
Noah Smith's a player for Sam Houston that's made a big impact for him. I think 77 catches this year. What does he do so well to attack opposing secondaries?
Yeah, he gets open. He catches the ball. He's very good at catching the ball. He reminds me a little bit of Holden because Holden can catch any ball that comes his way. We're gonna have to shut him down this week. Make sure that he doesn't get the ball. Work our techniques during practice. Get better at our techniques during practice. Make them run the ball. Stop the run, then make him throw it up high, and then just like last week, go get the ball just like we did. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, everyone. That concludes the press conference today, and just a big shout out to Nick and Trey for being here the entire year, and we'll be back here doing this again before you know it. Thank you.